Okay, family and friends, hello, welcome. We're out and about San Diego, northern, beautiful, suburban San Diego, California, on a very warm day, I must say. It is a warm day. And I'm riding the Phantom, the raucous devil-may-care Phantom, which is the 2018 Ducati V4S. All 1100 something cc's, 1097, 1103, some sort of weird number. I don't know how they divide that across four, but anyway, that's what they say. So, I thought, oh, never mind. I thought what I would do today is share what have I learned over 6 months, and that's a generous 6 months, because it actually arrived here back in late December. It might have been early January. And what have I learned about this machine in 6 months of ownership? I'm going to add a little caveat to this and say that, number one, I have not been able to put all that many miles on this thing, right around 1,000 or so, I think. So I'm not a high mileage user. You are seeing a lot of my mileage, unfortunately. Today we've got a little bad luck here with the amount of traffic we're behind. But you've seen a lot of my mileage, and that is local twisty roads, which are fun to ride. So this isn't going to be one of those sort of relations where we say, oh, could you use a V4S as a daily commuter? Which, by the way, I would say no, but I can't give you direct experience on that. But anyhow, what have I learned after 6 months of ownership on the V4S? Well, I'm going to say it's a really fun machine, number one, which I'm sure is going to surprise everybody. I'm sure you're surprised. So, it's a really fun machine. It's so interesting because it's fun even at a standstill. I drive this into a parking lot, pardon that, and people walk over and take a look at that and say, even people with motorcycles, they say, sir, pardon me, what kind of a motorcycle is that? And I tell them it's a Ducati, and they generally reply with something like, aren't all Ducatis red? Well, not all. There's some that aren't, but this one has been highly remodeled. So it's a really fun machine, including at a stop. It's fun to ride. It's demanding to ride would be number two observation, and that is that you cannot really let your attention slip on this machine because it is demanding. It's not a beginner machine at all. I would say upper intermediate, in my humble opinion. You might ask some other friends about that. But if you're looking for a first machine, it would be a really big mistake to start on a V4S, in my opinion. You're just going to be so involved with taking care of your general environment and operating the machine that unless you've got some kind of capabilities above and beyond the normal newbie, that it's just not going to be the right thing to do. So, upper intermediate, I've learned, and it is involving to ride. You've got to stay engaged. You've got to watch where you're going. You've got to maintain distances because you can close them up very quickly. And you need to be aware of that. This is a more capable machine than most automobiles, certainly any truck, but most automobiles, etc., that are out there on the road. So, and more road construction. So, very involving, and you need to keep your wits about you. We're going to turn left here. So the other thing that I've learned is that it still puts out that heat. And I'm not talking small amounts of heat. I'm talking still, folks, lots and lots of heat. I don't get it. Ducati, I think, and again, this would mean that as a daily commute, if you were stuck in traffic for periods of time, not the right choice. It's just not going to be comfortable, especially, God, I could just imagine, like up in LA, if you're in LA with a lot of other traffic, or Phoenix, Arizona, Houston, Texas, man, wear lots of mesh, because this thing throws off heat. And I'm still kind of at issues with that. Big heat. It's comfortable to ride, interestingly enough, subject to that heat issue. Well, isn't this cute? Look at the car in front of us. Little leopard lady. So, it's comfortable enough to ride, but particularly for a sports bike, it's docile. You can be docile on it. It will allow you to treat it gently, to roll through town, as long as you don't as long as you don't mind the sound of roasting nuts as you're doing that. They're going to be yours. Okay, mister. So it can be docile. That riding it at lower speeds. That throttle issue that I mentioned is actually still an issue. I love the fact when you're moving, I love the zero tolerance on the spacing. So it's a love-hate relationship. Missed a gear. First time I've done that in a while. I love that feeling when you're rolling along and you just don't have to pop the throttle off. I do. So that throttle has, for me, still got a love-hate relationship. And I can't tell you if I'd like the alternative. Would I like the alternative with a lot of throttle slop? I doubt it. I doubt that I would. So it's betwixt and between. Somehow or another, the stock Aprilia throttle positioning with the upgraded exhaust is a little more street friendly. Last comment I'm going to make after 6 months with the Ducati is the gearing. Gearing is really tall, really tall. Now the Aprilia is tall because it's a derivative of a sport bike, but this thing's milieu is on the track where you could be clipping down some really large MPH numbers, miles per hour, or kph, kilometers per hour. So the gearing is set up to reflect that. And what that means is you're riding around town doing your little twisty bits. You're not going to be out of second, very rarely even into third gear. And first gear is so tall. It means getting away from traffic signals with a touchy throttle. Sometimes you'll look like a bit of an idiot because you're trying to match throttle to the takeoff demand, and it doesn't always come along all that easily. So, got to be aware of that. Is this the street that I'm looking for? I think it is. All right. So, that would be my last comment on the 6 months of appreciation and bonding with the Ducati V4S full carbon by Capizzi Customs, nicknamed by yours truly, Gary L. Cooper, the Phantom.